We traveled to Washington, D.C. to meet with Zubaira Shamsadem of the Uyghur Human Rights Project. The Human Rights Project is an advocacy organization that advocates for the Uyghur people. The Uyghur people are native to a land they call East Turkistan. It is called the Xinjiang Autonomous Zone by the Chinese Communist government, who annexed it in 1949 by military occupation. At the time, the Uyghurs were made a minority in their own homeland as the Chinese Communist Party attempted a forced assimilation and the establishment of re-education camps that the Uyghur people assert are in fact concentration camps.
The Chinese government built so-called re-education centers for Uyghurs. In the society, there was still that kind of assimilation, the attempt to assimilate Uyghurs would exist already. They even legalized that kind of assimilation. The Chinese government implemented a few policies that exactly directed to Uyghurs, and that policy implementation resulted of assimilating Uyghur people. Like, for example, the religious extremist policy. But they, in reality, in that policy, they completely just criminalized just normal religious practice as that's criminal activity, and they start to punish the Uyghurs whoever did the just normal religious practice. For example, these so-called extreme activities, the extremism that the China used to punish Uyghurs just simply because they were practicing their religious practices. Is, for example, Uyghur women, they are not allowed to wear headscarves, and they're not allowed to wear long dresses. And if you do wear, that kind of long dresses or the headscarves, and you will be accused of extremism and sent to concentration camps. Other than that, the Uyghurs, some cultural practices also became criminal activities. So not allowing Uyghurs to have that kind of cultural life. And on top of that, destruction of the Uyghur, suburbs, the mosques, cultural sites, and all the buildings, all the places. They completely try to just disconnect Uyghurs from their origin. So there was clear policy of Chinese government saying, that one of the Chinese official, he claimed that we should try to disconnect with the roots, disconnect with the lineage, disconnect with the origin. In that re-education or concentration camps, what they did is the one completely brainwash Uyghurs so they can give up their identity, religion, culture, way of life, just everything. And it was all by force, by torture, and by doing many inhuman things to the people, what they have been through, especially women, how they try to rape, sterilize women, and abortion, and just, the inhuman way. So actually, I just talked to one of the camps survivor yesterday, What she says was, in the camps, the first thing the authorities tried them to completely forget about their religion. Saying that, forcing them to say that, look, there is no God. The only God or only savior of those people are Xi Jinping or China's Communist Party. So that's what you have to do. If you don't denounce your faith and your God, and you will be accused as an extremist. So you can be punished. They can do anything they want. So they force people to memorize all these red songs, the Chinese Communist Party laws, regulations, and there are a list of things. It's just horrible, incomprehensible some stuff that they force them to memorize. And that's the kind of things, and always intimidation. They try people to live in fear. So, and at the same time, they administer different the injections, medicines. With that, those people in the camps, they become kind of numb. For women, it's horrific, and they say that many bad things happens during the night, and soon the night falls, the people start to become very anxious or scary, And especially girls, they said they don't know which girl will be taken away during the night. And what if you were taken away and what's going to happen to you is just horrific. Sometimes, you think that what they are telling is horror movies. They administer injection, they don't even know what kind of injection it is. And they do that. They have little hole on the door of the cells. They just pull out their arm and they do injection. After the injection, they feel like kind of hallucinating, they don't feel anything. Especially the woman that has 3 children. She said, after a few days, she said, I got no idea whether I had children. I had no idea, I completely forgot. She said, you don't think, imagine as a mother, how it's possible that you don't think about your children. The only thing she said that we think was, okay, maybe we can eat, eat, survive, and do what that camp officials forced them to do, which is memorize. And one thinking comes to their mind is, if I finish memorizing this red song or that stuff, the propaganda, probably, I stay alive, I won't be tortured, I won't be beaten, I won't be taken away during the night. That all the fearful things that comes to their mind, no other.
When I commented on the strength of the Uyghur women, Zubaira responded,
I think there's one saying in Uyghur, Ayallah bir qo'lida beshik tevrese, bir qo'lida dunyoni tevirtidi. That's saying in Uyghur language. I did lots of translation for camp survivors. The only thing in their mind is, Zubaira, do you think they died already? The people who they stayed together, who they have witnessed that camp, it never goes away. I think from them, I really, really kind of felt and realized how the Holocaust survivors are living, because I really feel for them. When I visited Holocaust Museum in DC, I looked at every picture, I felt like they are my grandparents' picture, my father's picture, because it's so similar. The look, the feeling, the face. It is genocide, it's just clearly genocide.